Welcome back. I know now that you've done the exercise, your list of what you actually want is probably pretty long right now with that help of the what you don't want side, because I know that will help your list become very, very thorough. So, of course, as you again have probably figured out, the next step is now we know what to focus on, which, of course, is the right side, which are the things that we want. You can fold this paper in half and only focus on the things that you want. You can tear it in half and throw the half of what you don't want in the trash. I mean, that's up to you. Some people keep the other half because they plan on adding to that list eventually, and they don't have to go through and say, did I write this already? So that's up to you. But the main thing you're going to focus on at this point is the want side. Now, this is what they call being focused. Now, some people you'll hear all the time, you need to get more focused. That's what people are doing. They're not focused. Well, I'm going to tell you a secret. Focus is never an issue. We're focused human beings. We're very, very focused. The question is, what are we focused on? That's where we're having our issue. For example, if you're laying on the couch and you know there's something that needs to be done, what are you focused on? Well, let's watch your actions. Now, if you're having a very hard time getting off of the couch, then we know your thought process and what you're focused on. You're focused on the comfort of that couch. And you're probably also focusing on the pain of getting off of the couch. As Tony Robbins, or some people know him as Anthony Robbins, which is his name, he teaches that it's the pain-pleasure principle. That we'll do, and as he teaches, which is amazing that we're like this, but we'll do more to avoid pain than we will to gain pleasure. Now, you need to learn who you are as an individual when it comes to decisions like that. Are you a person that's really, truly driven by pleasure? Or are you a person that's really, truly driven by pain? Whatever which one works for you, guess what stories you should be writing? You need to be writing some painful stories if you need to get off that couch and you're not doing what needs to be done. Does that make sense? So you can see the stories are very powerful. And to me, it's the most important element. If you learn the stories and you learn that you control those stories, you actually get control of your life. This is, again, using another example. I hear all the time people talk about love and they say, well, love is just this feeling. And they go through all these stories about the stars lining up. And folks, love is a feeling. I don't buy that because feelings can change in a heartbeat, just like what we're learning here. I hope you don't love me and it's based on a feeling, because if you do, as soon as I do something that you don't agree with, your love is going to disappear. Or as people call it, I fell out of love. You didn't fall out of love. The person stopped doing what you wanted them to do. Therefore, you have some challenges with that. And whenever people don't do what we want them to do, for some reason they go on our don't like side. And then we call that falling out of love. See, love is a choice. You either love people because you choose to or you don't. I love everyone. I may not agree with what you do, and based on that, we'll determine on whether we're going to hang out or not. But that has nothing to do with whether I love you or not. See, love changes based on our society definition of love every time you change your stories. And if you really get this and it really gets down in your soul, you'll see a person that right now you're mad at, you can't stand, you ready to get a divorce, you ready to just cut them out of your life. You could fall right back in love with that person if you took control of the stories. Because guess what? Right now, you done wrote some pretty bad stories about that person, some pretty nasty stories. Now, I'm not saying the stories aren't justified, but those stories are driving the way you feel about that person at this particular moment. And if you change that story back to the way they were originally, which is why you had the googly eyes and he couldn't do nothing wrong, or she was just the perfect woman, or what, you see what I'm saying? You change the stories, your emotions change. I'll share with you another story. I heard this one a long time ago, and whoever told me this, I apologize because I forgot, but I would love to give you credit for it. But it was an example of a person being on a train. A gentleman got on the train with his kids, and the kids, of course, running around the train making a lot of noise. Well, of course, people are looking around like, would this guy just get control of his kids? And somebody said something to him. They were like, sir, could you please get your kids under control? And the guy lifted his head, because of course he had his head down at the moment. And he lifted his head and he said, you know what? I'm sorry. We just came from my wife's burial ground. She just passed away recently. And the kids just don't know how to handle it at this point. I am sorry. Folks, I guarantee your attitude just changed just now. So did everybody else on the train. Why? Because the story changed. I hope you guys are getting this. Your stories are so important to your life. Unfortunately, right now, you're letting it occur by accident. That's why I'm trying to really drive this home in this exercise. Get control of these stories and you get control of your life. Now that I hope I've made that pretty clear, that's going to take us to step 3, which is the next video.